Hey guys, my name is Ayuru.
And I'm Noister. And today we're going to be reviewing the Ghost series, now that it's finally over and X8 is starting. And he would be yelling into a pillow just because of how frustrating this series was.
You don't understand.
Oh, I understand.
I had such high hopes for it.
Well, yeah, especially after watching the cameo of Ghost in Drive. He shows up and he was a total badass. And I was pretty excited about it. And then just the concept for the show sounds great. I mean, the hero dies in the first episode, and he comes back as a ghost, and he has to collect the icons to bring himself back to life. And it's just a great idea for a series.
It just got so convoluted, it was terrible.
Well, for me, one of the things that really annoyed me was, okay, so here's the bad guy. And then about 10 episodes in, wait, he's not the real bad guy. He's going away now, and you'll never see him again. And here's the real bad guy. Oh, wait, we're going to kill him off, and here's the real bad guy. And then at the end, oh, wait, he's not the real bad guy. Here's who's really pulling the strings.
Pretty much. I have a lot of problems with this show. Just little things that annoyed me. Let me talk about something I do like, just to make myself feel better. I love the theme song. The theme song was beautiful. I loved it.
That was the best part of the show.
Yeah, pretty much. And then right after, as soon as the song's over, it just irks me. It always starts with the, oh, my name's Takeru, I was killed when I was 18. It's like, dude, I don't care. We're 50 episodes in. I know.
He also has douche face. Sorry.
I don't think he has douche face. I mean, if they would have kept the same actor, but with the demeanor and attitude as it was from the Drive special, yeah, I would have been okay with it. Spoopy Ghost was a better Ghost, not whiny, I don't know how to fight Ghost.
Yeah, because that whole spooky, I'm floating around the battlefield in this cloud of black, that whole thing never really showed up in the series.
No, I had a theory on this before, but it was kind of thrown out the window. I was really hoping that at that time, it was actually the ghost of his dad.
Oh, that would have been cool, but yeah, no, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then they, series moved on, they swapped developments, and it's like, well, nope, there's no explanation, this sucks, I don't like it.
And let me clarify real quick. When I said douche face, it was more in reference to throughout the series he becomes more and more full of himself. Everybody's praising him all the time, and he gets a really big head. And they don't treat it as a bad thing. It's just part of the show. He's the perfect hero, and when they're all praising him, he just gets this look of, yeah, I know I'm better than everybody else on his face. So that's what I meant by he has douche face.
Yeah, and then there was the whole fact of every couple of episodes he gets depressed, and it's like, oh no, I can't do this, and then the announcement of, oh, by the connection of our friendship I can do this. It's like, dude, you've already established a concept. You do not need to beat this down on my throat every few episodes. I know, just move on.
Speaking of beating things down your throat, the thing that really irked me the most was about halfway through the series, they started introducing this concept of infinite human potential. And if they just said it a couple of times, it would have been fine. But every episode, I started counting, and I don't remember what the actual count was, but it was like 5 to 10 times an episode, they would say the power of infinite human potential. And it got to the point where I just wanted to punch babies every time they said it. And towards the end of the series, it was either the next to the last episode or the last episode. That was actually the name of the episode. And it made me want to throw my computer across the room.
Yep, I felt the same way. Just this show had so many flaws. The side characters were not interesting whatsoever. I found them annoying. The priest dude, I'm just like, come on, dude. I would see the priest guy as like a guy that would want to enlighten the main writer and like encourage him, not the super silly dude who just runs around in his little robe swinging his stick with rings on it.
No, he's a complete idiot. He doesn't offer anything to the show. Like, in Drive, the side characters were interesting. They were fun. They had a reason for being there. There's no point in that character.
Exactly, like even the chief, him being the silly character in Drive, still had his serious moments where he moved the plot along and made a difference.
Yeah, he was still important, and he was honestly likable, and these characters weren't really likable.
Not even a little bit. Like the girl too. It's like, oh, everything must be explained through science. Oh, science is like, dude, you just watched your friend's body disappear right in front of you in the first episode. Really? Explain that.
So, I mean, already we're off to a bad start. Uneven story that never really picks up or goes anywhere and is convoluted. Side characters that are unlikable. Main character that's unlikable.
And now let's get to my personal peeve about this show. The secondary and tertiary writers. Ugh.
Okay.
Why?
I feel your pain.
I mean, dude, they were the best thing about this show. Here comes Spectre. It's like, no, I want to collect the icons. I need to save my sister. I'm gonna kick your ass. Which is cool. It's like, okay, awesome. We have a badass because apparently Ghost fell short of what they built him up to be. And then what happens? He starts hanging out with him, and Pansy washes off on him.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and then same thing with Spectre. Spectre comes in, beats the crap out of both of them. He's a complete badass. This shit happens with his, his family, which I understand. And he did have a heartfelt moment, I will say, with I can't remember her name, but the
Takoyaki lady.
Yes, Takoyaki, that the lady.
And I assume you're talking about Necrom. You said Spectre, so I just want to clarify.
Did I say Spectre? Oh,
yeah.
My bad. I meant Necrom. But essentially, the whole thing with them. I mean, I felt bad. It's like, okay, cool. Go his character a bit, because he was the whole the whole I'm royalty, everybody's beneath me, so on kind of thing. It's like, cool, story development. And then he became good. And then Pansy washed off on him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That really, really bothered me, especially after the great secondary writers in Drive. I mean...
Yeah,
Mock and Chaser were amazing, and their personalities didn't really change at all.
Even when Chaser became good, he was still a badass the entire time.
Oh god, yes. Absolutely. I don't know. And that's not the end of my complaints either. I mean, one of the things I've loved about Kamen Rider is the enemy designs. So I love Sentai too, but they're always really goofy, kind of flamboyant-looking enemies, just really kiddie. But
Sure.
Kamen Riders always had really great designs. I mean, look at Gaim and look at Drive. The enemies looked really cool, really creative. And then you have Ghost, where there's a guy that's an airplane. Then you have a lady bee who's a cowgirl. Just really retarded, uninspired enemy designs.
And then also I completely understand, because from my understanding when this all started, they had a limited budget because I guess the toy sales for Drive didn't go as good, despite the story. They had limited budget, so they had to reuse a lot of the same costumes, and it still irked me. Understanding that, it still bothered me that a lot of the characters, like the scientist dude that was part of the Ganma, he would then use the prototype driver that Necrom had. I forget the name of it, but he would throw that on. Yeah, Igor,
Yeah.
him. You see, this how little I cared about these characters. I didn't bother memorizing their names. He would just use the same thing, and then it's like, oh, I have the Tomahawk one now. Oh, I have the airplane one now. It's like, just why don't you have your own special design? You're a main boss, dude.
Pretty much. And it wasn't just the designs of the enemies, it was the different costumes. So the Legendary Rider Souls ones were really cool looking, I'll admit that. And a couple of Ghost base forms and Spectre and Necrom's forms were cool. However, the different icons, I wish they would have stuck with warriors throughout history. Like Musashi was a cool form. I like that one a lot. So there were a couple good ones. But then they do weird stuff like Thomas Edison and Beethoven.
The Beethoven one added very little.
It did, and most of them were hardly ever used. They showed up maybe once or twice. And it's just like, let's cram as many different forms as we can down your throat, and they're not going to be creative, and we're only going to use them a couple of times. There was no creativity to it, and the designs were just honestly bad. And I don't even see a point to it, because when he gets his final form, it makes those forms obsolete. And there's even an episode where he's like, no, you guys are still important to me. I still need your forms. You're still useful, even though I have this new ultimate extra badass form. And then after that episode, he just sticks with the one form again.
Yeah, and then even the one form still bothered me, the Mugen form, because it just reminded me a lot of Wizard. It's like, okay, Infinity, you have the same color scheme. Like, parts of him look like diamonds. Like, Wizards was a diamond. Just, I didn't see any originality into it whatsoever.
There was some humor to that form, though, because with the little horn on his head being rainbow colored, he looked just like a fabulous, sparkling unicorn Kamen Rider.
That's fair.
But that's really the only thing I found amusing about it. Yeah. The designs were just such garbage.
Yeah, and then I was also upset that Necrom did not get a new form. He just had the two hero icons, and that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
And even his like other weapon is like, it's just a repaint of Spectre's gun.
Everything's a repaint.
Yeah, it. If you can't tell, it bothered me. That's like the whole point of this video.
Yes. I'm trying to think of good things to say about it besides the theme song and the core concept, but honestly, I can't think of anything. Even the story...
say it was a cat. You say it was a cat. That was my favorite part of the end.
That was good. I will give you that. The story at the end was just... It was so retarded. You have this guy that they've been trying to reach, Necrom's brother, and he's the main bad guy, and nothing they can say to him works, and he'll even, he'll kidnap and hypnotize his sister. He'll try to kill his brother. He killed his dad. Spoiler, sorry. Hopefully you've already seen it at this point.
And if you haven't, don't.
Yeah, just stay away from it. Just listen to the review, call it good, don't watch it. But nothing they can do can reach this guy. He's killed his own family. He's just a horrible person. And then at the end, it just takes one scene where the power of love snaps him out of it, and he's sorry and apologizes, and everything's better now. It was just so stupid, because they had tried this before and it didn't work, and I don't know, it just seemed like a cop-out.
Yeah, and then you and I were discussing this off camera. With the reason I personally like Kamen Rider, like towards the endings, is there's always a sad or tragic ending at the end. There's always something traumatic at the end that drives the point, the premise through to you, and it hits you right in the heart. It makes you want to cry.
Gives you the feels, man.
Yeah, exactly. With you and me, when we were watching Double, and we're not even going to discuss that because, burst into tears. But same thing with Gaim, with Drive, there's always something that's like, oh, nope, I'm going to cry. Nope, don't do this. Oh. Not with Ghost. With Ghost is like, okay, there's a happy ending. I don't see the point in this. I don't feel for these characters. I don't feel like besides them, trying to jam it down your throat, I don't feel like the point was put across in a very good way.
No, I didn't care enough about the characters that even if something sad did happen, I just kind of shrug it off a little bit. With Wizard.
At least with Wizard, I watched Wizard all the way through. I cared for the characters. I felt sad. I didn't burst into tears like I did with Double, but I still felt bad.
Oh god. But I guess Ghost had a hard act to follow with Drive, because Drive, the characters were so great that when I'll try not to give any spoilers for Drive because it's great and everybody should watch it, but something sad happens, and just when you think it's over with and you're like, okay, fine, I survived, the sadness is over, I didn't cry, something else sad happens. That's even worse.
Those last couple episodes were
they were like heartbreaking.
They were just like, oh, you think that's sad? How about this? Oh, you think you feel bad now? Oh, how about a little bit of this too?
Exactly.
Like, why? Just snowball me with feels, dude.
And there was nothing like that in Ghost. And even if there was something like that in Ghost, because you don't care about the characters, it's just kind of a waste. But
yeah, and then it also didn't help that they had about 20 episodes of filler.
I would say more than 20 episodes.
I'm gonna say 20 because I stopped caring about episode 30.
Okay, you're being nice to him by saying 20.
Yeah.
I would say there was a lot more, but okay. I actually stuck through it and watched till the very end of it. I wish I hadn't. Another thing I'm mad about is the Ichigo movie. It was a great movie. Loved every second of it except the parts with Ghost. They were completely unnecessary. If they had taken Ghost out of it, it would have been just an amazing movie.
I felt the same way. And another thing that bothered me, now talking about movie specials, was the Drive Ghost movie. Bothered the crap out of me. I did not like it whatsoever. No. I know this is a concept with Toku and whatnot, so I mean, I'm gonna not put this as my key point, but the whole time travel thing starting to bother me just because every series has a time travel thing, and like alright, dude, this is starting to get a little old. Come up with a different concept, but they went to the past. If you who watched it, spoiler alert, I don't care. They went to the past, met Takeru as a kid, still a whiny little bitch, annoyed the crap out of me. His dad was cool, but he was a whiny little bitch there, and the part that bothers me is because every movie has a special form that's exclusive to the movie only. He gets the same boost form, but it just says dad form. Yeah, it's like there was no change besides the sound.
Exactly.
Bothered me.
Speaking of his dad, they had him in the flashback, and they showed that his dad was a complete badass. He was able to take on Ganma without a transformation or anything like that. Just him with his weapon, just wailing on him. He was a complete badass. Why is his son such a wimp?
Yeah. I'm just like, why?
I couldn't figure it out. But it was so hilarious, though, in the Ichigo movie, because he's old. He is super, super old, but he's still able to be a badass. And the only way that Ghost or Necrom or Makoto can actually do anything is if Ichigo wears down the enemy first and stops and tells them, okay, why don't you attack it and finish it off real quick. So he has to weaken it, kind of like a mama cat injuring a prey to teach her kids how to hunt. It was kind of like that, and it was just sad.
Yeah. One thing that did bother me, though, about the Ichigo movie, more towards the Ichigo part, just ignoring Ghost, they never fully explained how he got the upgrade.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm assuming it happened somewhere in the many, many, many years that span the original series and now.
Yeah.
And it was more of the guy's a little bulkier now than he was back in the day, so they had to do something to kind of make him still look badass.
Yeah.
I mean, he was still cool, but I mean, he's getting older, so he looks a little bulkier.
Yeah, that's completely understandable.
And I don't really want to say more about that movie. I don't want to spoil things because there were some epic moments to it, but ultimately it would have been so much better if they just cut Ghost out of it completely.
Yeah, I mean, it's no Kamen Rider the first, but it was at least with the parts without Ghost were good. Yeah, but I wish they made a third.
Yeah, we'll have
I want them to make a third.
But those are my thoughts on Ghost. I wouldn't give it the time of day. I wouldn't bother watching it.
Don't watch it. It's bad.
Just disappointment.
Just go to the wiki, read the cliff notes, and you're good.
Exactly. High hopes for the new series. Let's hope they learn their lesson.
Yeah, if you haven't seen a review on the first episode, go watch that. It's good stuff. You'll enjoy this. You'll enjoy the first episode of Exade more than you'll enjoy the entire episode of Ghost. Just put it that way.
Exactly. And we're going to be trying to do a review for each episode that comes out, so keep checking back with us.
For sure.
Yeah, but that's all I got for Ghost. Glad it's over with. Did you have any final thoughts?
Nope, not really. Just I've already expressed my frustration.
Yeah, just if you take anything away from this, stay away from it. Just don't watch it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I thought was cool was like the Ghost driver itself being the weird, creepy face. I mean, I'd buy it for that, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
And even then, it didn't have too many functions either, so I mean, it's like not really worth the $100. Just saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay that much.
No.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I'm Noister.
I'm Zayoru.
And we will see you next time.
Later.